Good evening. Welcome to the Tennessee Smokies Win Insurance postgame show. I'm Ben Slotnick from the Smokies Baseball Broadcasting Center. Locally owned and operated, Win Insurance has delivered quality insurance solutions to individuals and businesses in Tennessee. Win Insurance is a one-stop shop for your insurance needs, offering homeowners auto and business insurance coverage. Contact their Knoxville office today at 865-694-4074 or stop in and see them in Franklin Square right off Kingston Pike. Tonight, Chattanooga gained sole possession of first place in the Southern League North for the first time since opening week with a 4-1 win over the Smokies. We now go through the box score and highlights of tonight's 3-run Chattanooga victory. To the top of the first, Smokies starting pitcher Walker Powell retired the Lookouts down an order in 12 pitches on a pop-out and a pair of groundouts. Then in the home half, Lookouts starting pitcher Joe Boyle struck out leadoff man Pete Crow Armstrong swinging, but Luis Vasquez followed it with a single and stolen base. And with a runner on second and one out, Owen Casey struck out swinging. Then it was the cleanup batter Hayden McGeary who watched the first 3 pitches for balls, but swung at a 3-0 pitch and grounded out to the third baseman Noelve Marte to end the inning. In the top of the second, Walker Powell hit Reese Hines to begin the inning. While the next batter, Alan Serta, was up, Hines stole both second and third base. Serta struck out swinging, though. Jose Torres popped out to the catcher, Pablo Aliendo. And on the next pitch, Nick Northcutt grounded out to end the half inning. So despite starting with a runner on third and nobody out, the Lookouts failed to score in the second. In the home half, B.J. Murray led off with a base hit, but he tried to stretch a single into a double and was thrown out at second by Chattanooga right fielder Reese Hines. Pablo Aliendo then lined out to third base, and on the next pitch, Cole Roederer lined out to Chattanooga left fielder Jacob Hurtubise to end the inning. Lookout starting pitcher Joe Boyle threw 10 pitches and faced the minimum of 3 batters in the second. And in the top of the third, Daniel Veoheen led off with a ground out. Then the 9th batter of the Lookouts order, Jacob Hurtubise, singled, but Powell retired the next 2 hitters to keep the game scoreless going into the bottom of the third, where Wogu flew out to right field. Then the 9th batter of the Smokies order, Andy Weber, doubled, which brought up Crow Armstrong, who was hit by a pitch. And with runners on first and second, Vasquez flew out to right field, and then Casey grounded out to end the inning. This pitcher's duel took us to the 4th inning scoreless, where on the first pitch of the top of the 4th, Alex McGarry flew out to the right field of Cole Roederer. Powell then struck out Hines on 3 pitches, and after retiring the first 2 batters, he walked Serta, and then Torres singled. Both runners on first and second, 2 outs. Powell struck out Northcutt swinging to keep the Lookouts off the board. Then in the home half, the cleanup batter, Hayden McGeary, led off with a hit by pitch, but Boyle responded by striking out back-to-back batters looking, fitting for the Lookouts pitcher. And with a runner on first and 2 outs, Roederer flew out to left field to end the inning. Through 4 scoreless innings, Smokies starter Walker Powell had 41 strikes on 57 pitches, while Lookout starting pitcher Joe Boyle had 37 strikes on 58 pitches. To the top of the 5th, the Lookouts came out swinging in this inning. Daniel Veoheen and Jacob Hurtubise both singled on the first pitch they saw to begin the top of the 5th. And 1 pitch later, Marte flew out to right field. Then with runners on first and second and 2 outs, Ivan the Great broke the scoreless tie.
And the 0-2 is swung out and hammered. Down the line it goes, and there's no doubt about it. It's leaving the yard. A 3-run shot for Ivan Johnson. And he continues to terrorize the Smokies with that long ball.
This gave the Lookouts a 3-0 lead. Alex McGarry then walked but was caught stealing, and Powell struck out Hines to end the half inning, but not before the Lookouts scored the first 3 runs of the game. In the bottom half, Boyle retired the Smokies down in order, including a pair of strikeouts, but it took him 15 pitches. Through 5 innings, Boyle had 47 strikes on 73 pitches, while Powell had 53 strikes on 74 pitches. To the top of the 6th, prior to the start of it, Smokies manager Michael Ryan made a call to the bullpen for Ben Hecht. In 5 innings pitched, Powell allowed 3 earned runs on 5 hits, a home run, a pair of walks, a hit batter, and 4 strikeouts. Hecht walked Cerda to begin the 6th. Then in the midst of Torres's at-bat, which resulted in a strikeout, Cerda stole second base. Northcutt then popped out to first base, and a Vejohin 4-pitch walk followed. Then with runners on first and second and 2 outs, Hurtubise flew out to end the half inning. Smokies reliever Ben Hecht threw 26 pitches in the top of the 6th, 15 of which were balls, but somehow found a way to hold the Lookouts scoreless in the frame. In the bottom of the 6th, Boyle retired the Smokies down in order for the 2nd consecutive inning, taking us to the top of the 7th where the Lookouts led 3-0. Ryan Jensen came in to pitch for Ben Hecht prior to the start of it. The Lookouts went down in order for the first time since the first inning. On 12 pitches, Jensen grounded out a batter and struck out a pair. Then after stretch time, the Lookouts made their first call to the bullpen. The right-hander Michael Byrne replaced Joe Boyle, who had a magnificent quality outing. In 6 scoreless and walkless innings of work, he allowed just 3 hits and struck out 7. Byrne followed his lead by retiring the Smokies down in order for the 3rd straight inning. This took us to the 8th inning, where in the top half, Jensen threw his 2nd consecutive perfect inning. He struck out a batter and grounded out a pair in 10 pitches. To the home half, Wogu got the Smokies started by reaching on a 2-base throwing error made by third baseman Noelve Marte. This would do it for Michael Byrne on the mound, and he was replaced by the left-hander Andy Fisher. His first batter faced, Andy Weber, flew out to center field, and Wogu was caught sleeping and thrown out at second. Then with nobody on and 2 outs, Pete Crow Armstrong was determined to end Chattanooga's shutout bid.
Comes the pitch. Swing and a high deep drive. Way back, right field, and there she goes! A bomb to right field, and the Smokies on that Titanic shot are on the board, and it's 3-1. Pete Crow Armstrong got it all. That's his 6th.
This cut the Lookouts' lead to 2, and it sparked a 2-out rally. Vasquez and Casey recorded back-to-back 5-pitch walks, which made pinch hitter Nelson Maldonado the go-ahead run at the plate, but he popped out to the shortstop Jose Torres in shallow left field to put an end to the Smokies' further 2-out rally hopes. This brought us to the 9th inning with Chattanooga ahead 3-1. The Cartagena, Colombia native Danis Correa entered the game on the mound for Ryan Jensen. Jensen had his best outing of the season. He threw 2 perfect innings and struck out 3 batters on just 21 pitches. Correa retired his first 2 batters faced, but the Lookouts followed up with a 2-out rally of their own. Jacob Hurtubise walked on a full count pitch and soon after stole second base. Then with a runner on second and 2 outs, it was Noelve Marte up to bat, who entered this plate appearance 0 for 4 on the night.
1-1. Swing, smashed on the ground, past Vasquez, base hit left field. Runner's going to try to score. Here's the throw to the plate, and it's cut off. RBI single for Marte, and it's 4-1.
The next hitter, Ivan Johnson, struck out swinging to take us to the bottom of the 9th, with the Smokies needing 3 runs to keep the game alive. Prior to the start of the home half, the Lookouts closer, Ryan Masinger, came in to pitch for Andy Fisher. He walked B.J. Murray on 4 pitches, but proceeded to fly out Aliendo and strike out Roederer. And with a runner on first and 2 outs, with the Smokies down to their last strike, it was Wogu at the plate, who was hitless in his last 14 at-bats. With his back to the wall, Wogu hit a double, which set up second and third for Andy Weber, who walked on 4 pitches to load the bases for Pete Crow Armstrong. Down 3 runs with 3 men on and 2 men out, the Smokies outfielder Pete Crow Armstrong faced a 3-2 pitch, and Meisinger struck him out swinging to fight off a potential Smokies comeback and clinched the 4-1 victory for the Lookouts. The winning pitcher for Chattanooga was the right-hander Joe Boyle. He improves to 3-3 on the season with a 4.65 ERA. The losing pitcher for the Smokies was the starter Walker Powell. He drops to 2-3 overall with a 4.46 earned run average. And recording the save for the Lookouts was Ryan Meisinger. He now has 4 saves in 4 save opportunities. In tonight's 4-1 Chattanooga win, Lookout starter Joe Boyle had a 64% strike rate through his first 4 innings pitched. Then in his last 2 innings, he had a phenomenal 75% strike rate. The Lookouts scored 4 runs on 6 hits. They made an error in the field. The Smokies scored 1 run on 5 hits and made no errors in the field. The Lookouts improved to 27-22, while the Smokies drop to 27-23. With the Lookouts win, they gained sole possession of first place in the Southern League North for the first time in 57 days. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll have a Southern League and a Vols baseball scoreboard update, the Swans Marina catch of the game, and a preview of tomorrow afternoon's series finale. More Smokies baseball coverage coming up next. Welcome back to the Tennessee Smokies Win Insurance postgame show. I'm Ben Slotnick from the Smokies Baseball Broadcasting Center. It's time for a Southern League scoreboard update. First, in an interleague series between the Rocket City Trash Pandas and Montgomery Biscuits, the Trash Pandas won 3 of the first 4 games, but fell tonight 9-4 to the Montgomery Biscuits. The Biscuits scored 9 runs on 15 hits. The 2-batter in the Biscuits order, third baseman Austin Shenton, went a perfect 4 for 4 with a pair of RBIs, a walk, and 3 runs scored. Then in a Southern League South Division series between the first place Pensacola Blue Wahoos and second place Biloxi Shuckers, Biloxi trailed last night by 5 runs, but came back in thrilling fashion to win by 3. Tonight, however, the Shuckers led 1-0 after the first inning, but it went downhill from there. Pensacola scored 11 unanswered runs and scored in every inning from the second to the 6th, and they currently lead 11-2 in the bottom of the 9th, 2 outs away from clinching the victory over the Shuckers. And lastly, in a 6-game series featuring the Birmingham Barons and Mississippi Braves, it's also been an even series through 4 games. Last night, Mississippi scored 3 runs in both the 8th and 9th innings to win 13-7. Tonight, the Barons had a combined no-hitter going into the 8th inning, but Mississippi has since recorded 2 hits in the 8th, and they lead 1-0 in the bottom of the 8th. The Braves scored their lone run on a wild pitch by Barons pitcher Caleb Freeman. Jesse Franklin V scored, and Mississippi is clinging on to a 1-0 lead in the bottom of the 8th. The Barons have a runner on first with 1 out, and Taylor Snyder up to bat. This has been a Southern League scoreboard update. It's time for a Tennessee Volunteers baseball scoreboard update. We're all tied up at 5 apiece in Clemson, South Carolina. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes with Griffin Merritt up to bat. He's 0 for 5 with a strikeout tonight. The Vols looking to win and advance to the Super Regional as they are tied at 5 apiece with the Tigers. We'll have more on that game later tonight. You can catch it on your local station. This has been a Tennessee Vols scoreboard update. We now present our Swans Marina catch of the game. Swans Marina and Campground is located on beautiful Douglas Lake in Dandridge. A peaceful and scenic resort awaits you and your loved ones. Founded in 1943, Swans Marina is one of the oldest marinas in the area. In a 3-1 Lookouts game With 2 runners on and 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th, Nelson Maldonado faced a 2-strike pitch.
2-2 the count. Here it comes. Swing and a fly ball to shallow left field. Long run. Torres down the line and left, and he makes the basket catch. That's about as good of a play as your shortstop's going to make. He was running like a wide receiver on a fly pattern and a ball that was floated down the left field line that Hurtubise couldn't get. And somehow Torres was able to run all the way down by the bullpen and snag it, and the sides retired.
Jose Torres with an incredible catch, which prevented 2 Smokies runs from scoring, and that was the play of the game defensively, which is why it earned the Swans Marina catch of the game. It's now time for a preview of tomorrow afternoon's series finale at Smokies Stadium. First pitch will be at 2 p.m. Eastern. We now take a gander at tomorrow's starting hurlers. It's the same pitching matchup from Monday night's series opener. Starting on the mound for the Smokies is the left-hander Cole Franklin. He is 2-2 with a 4.12 earned run average through 4 starts. And for the Lookouts, it's the right-hander Christian Roa. He's 1-4 overall with a 6.56 ERA through 9 starts. On Monday night, Franklin threw 5 shutout innings, allowed 1 hit, 2 walks, and struck out 5 batters in a stellar victory. Roa, on the other hand, allowed 6 earned runs on 6 hits, 2 walks, and 6 strikeouts in a loss. On Sundays this season, the Lookouts are 3-4, while the Smokies are 1-7. Tomorrow afternoon, it'll be another pivotal Southern League North matchup between the division's top 2 teams, as the winner will take sole possession of first place in the Southern League North. That'll do it for tonight's broadcast. From Mick Gillespie and Richie Giuliano at Smokies Stadium, I'm Ben Slotnick in the Smokies Baseball Broadcasting Center. Lookouts win 4-1. Have a great night.